The Russian bear is a widespread symbol for Russia, used in cartoons, articles and dramatic plays since as early as the 16th century, and relating alike to Tsarist Russia, the Soviet Union and the present-day Russian Federation. It often was and is used by Westerners, to begin with especially in Britain and later also in the US, and not always in a flattering context. On occasion it was used to imply that Russia is big, brutal and clumsy. The bear image was, however, on various occasions also taken up by Russians themselves. Having the bear cub Misha as the mascot of the 1980 Moscow Olympic Games was evidently intended to counter the big and brutal Russian bear image with a small, cuddly and smiling bear cub. In Russia, associations with the image of the bear have received relatively mixed reactions. On one hand, Russians themselves appreciate the bear for its raw power and cunning, and bears are very often used as mascots or as a part of a design on a logo. On the other hand, the overuse of the image of the bear by foreigners visiting Russia prior to 20th century led to the image of bear being a sort of insider joke, postulating that Russian streets are full of bears as an example of factually inaccurate information about Russia. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, there was some support in the Russian parliament for having a bear as the new Russian coat of arms, with the proposers pointing out that Russia is anyway identified in the world with the bear, though eventually it was the Tsarist coat of arms of the double-headed eagle that was restored. Later, the bear was taken up as the symbol of the United Russia Party, which has dominated political life in Russia since the early 2000s. Coincidentally, the surname of Dmitry Medvedev, the Russian president elected in 2008, is the possessive adjective of th1/4 th micron th squared th micron th no, that is his surname means of a bear. In his successful 1984 re-election campaign, Ronald Reagan used the bear motif in the famous Bear in the Woods ad, which claimed that he recognized the existence of a Soviet threat, and that his opponent denied its existence. Russian amateur wrestler Alexander Karelin is also being nicknamed the Russian Bear. In fantasy football, the Russian Bear has been known to go 4-10, barely missing the playoffs. While his acts of coercion and collusion do not go unnoticed, they are simply not enough to bring him into the upper tier of total FF domination. It will likely be another decade before the Russian Bear, led by Notion Marino, fights his way back into playoff contention. Gallery. From Russia from outside Russia References. External links, media related to Russian Bear at Wikimedia Commons, Prasomikhin, A. Krustalov, D. Russia as a Bear, Origins of the Visualization. Ivsu. Prasomikhin, A. Krustalov, D. Russia as a Bear. Neprikosnov Zapas 1.